Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I am Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Tonight, Tom and I are going to have a lot of fun because I'm going to be making a fun fold card, and you're all going to have fun helping me out with this one, I'm sure. I am really excited about tonight, and I'm excited about this card idea. So I kind of came up with this idea that we could do some sort of fancy fold where we would be creating the outside of the card, but then when the card opened, the inside of the card was decorated. So hopefully things will go the way we planned. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hello, everybody.
How are you?
I'm great.
We've got a few new little things here tonight, a little bit of music and a countdown clock. We wanted to make sure everybody got a chance to get in here and say hello. So we decided to add that. We hope that you like that. We sure do. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, a few new buzzers and whistles and for the crafter dinner crowd.
Absolutely, yes. And, Tom, we don't want anybody to forget, right? Tonight, we want you to, if you like the video, we hope that you will click the like button and also click on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss another video or live Stampin' Chat. All right, so let's get started. And then, Tom, maybe you'll be back later with a word of the day?
I may be back.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, so tonight I decided I was going to use an older stencil set. You know me, every once in a while I like to go back to the oldies and bring something back from the past. This is a little blast from the past. So this is the Summer Bouquet layering stencil set, and I love this one. I think this is going to be a lot of fun to use, and then I'm going to mix it and match it with a set that's a little bit more recent, not our current release, but a little more recent, which is the Modern Roses. I think I'm going to use this birthday greeting, and then I am going to use an inside greeting from Deborah Warner's On the Inside. I'm going to use this one down here that says, "You're not special because it's your birthday. You're special because you're you." And I love that. I think that's awesome because sometimes we forget. We only make people feel special on their birthday, but they're special all the time. And I just want to do a quick welcome to everybody who's joining us. I see some comments coming through from Facebook and also from YouTube. If you're out there, please say hello because at the end of the live, we are going to give away a gift card. And the way you enter is just by leaving a comment. You can leave as many comments as you want, but if you say hello, you're entered to win. So, no matter what you say, you're entered to win. But if you say hello, you're definitely entered. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a piece of 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock. And let me grab my paper cutter here. I'm going to back up a little bit. This looks very, very close up. I hope everybody can see very well. I think I'm going to try to match my, how do I do this? Oh yeah, match my card to my shirt tonight. We'll see. I don't want to go too far. There we go. All right. And let me get my glasses on so I can see. So I'm going to cut this 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock down to 5.5 by 8.5. So we have a half sheet of cardstock. Now this is going to be one of the easiest fancy folds you've ever seen because there's nothing fancy that needs a template. It is just an A2 regular fold. But then we're going to do a little cut mark into it that's going to be really fun. Okay, so I'm going to score this at the 4.25 inch mark. And you could do this, you could actually do this card vertically or horizontally, whichever way you want is totally fine. I'm going to do mine book style, so it's going to be a vertical card, not a horizontal card. And if you don't know what I mean by that, what I mean is that the longest edge of the card is vertical versus the longest edge being horizontal. Okay, so now I'm going to get my paper cutter and I am going to trim off a piece on the front here. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to slip this in, let's see, to the 1.5 inch mark. Just like that. So I'm cutting 1.5 inches off the front of this card. All right, there we go, 1.5 inches. So now my card has this little border going down the side there. Okay, and, oh boy, I didn't get a super clean cut. Well, maybe it's clean enough. I hope so. You know what? I have another folded card base here. I think I grabbed my old paper cutter. This is my old We Are Memory Keepers paper cutter. I did get myself a new one, but it had glue here, like some tape on it, so I thought it was the old one. I think I'm going to just cut this one more time just to be safe. All right.
That's the word we were memory.
We were. Yeah, we were memory keepers. It's a great paper cutter, though. It's fun. Okay, there we go. That's nice and crisp. All right, so this is just 1.5 inches cut off. Well, we're glad that you made it to the chat. We're glad to see all of you here. I know there are some people on Facebook right now not knowing where to go. It's just one of those things where ever since Facebook changed that you can't stream in groups, a lot of people just, they can't figure out how to get either to the Facebook page or over to YouTube. So if anybody wants to share this video, feel free, because any way that people can find it, it's great. Okay, so I'm going to be using some Masking Magic strips here, and these are the 1/4 inch Masking Magic strips. We also have 1/2 inch and 1/8 of an inch. And what I'm going to do, yes, Sherry, I'll put an X on my old cutter. Good idea. It's like I don't want to throw it away. I want to have it as a backup. So Masking Magic strips are very low tack tape. If you haven't used these before, they're really fun to use. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my card, and then I am going to create a border along the edge just by taping off right to the very edge. And I'm doing this on a piece of cardstock here so I can flip it around. It's easier for me to see. All right. And this will not tear the paper. I love our Masking Magic. I've had people tell me too that they watercolor and it doesn't get icky, and they can, it keeps the water out too, so they get a clean edge. Okay, so I'm going to do it down the sides too of the card. And I'm going to do it down this side. Now I'm doing this specifically because I am making a single layer card. And I don't make very many single layer cards. You guys know that. I'm a big fan of the layers, right? But this one is going to be a single layer card. So in order to give it a little dimension, by adding this border around the outside, it's going to look really good. Okay, let's see. Let me find the stencils. Now, for this one, you know, our stencils, most of our layering stencils are listed as Stencil 1, Stencil 2, and Stencil 3. And so there's a right side and a wrong side, and you want to make sure that you have them all on the right side. Now, normally I would start with Stencil 1 and then go to 2 and then go to 3, but I am actually going to start with Stencil 2. And the reason I want to start with Stencil 2 is because I want these stems here to go a little bit off the bottom of the card, like that, and everything else will line up really easily, but if I start with the flowers, I won't know where these stems are going to be. So you, just because the stencils are layered Stencil 1, Stencil 2, and Stencil 3, you don't have to go in that order. Okay, so I'm going to take a little pixie tape and I'm going to tape this down. All right, And then these are my leaves and my stems. So I'm going to start with some greens. And the green colors that I'm picking here are fresh asparagus and jelly bean greens. So some nice, bright, beautiful greens. And I'm going to be using a large blending brush, and then I'm going to be using one of the fine detail blending brushes. Now this is going to allow me to create the look of extra layers in there, even though I don't have layers. It's going to create a lot of beautiful shading. And it's going to give me that look of good Copic marker coloring or good colored pencil blending just with ink. All right, so I am going to be starting with Jelly Bean Green. PA, I don't know if the Intracut can be used with AccuCut steel dies. If AccuCut steel rule dies are the same as the Sizzix steel rule dies, then the answer is yes. But I've never used AccuCut dies, so I can't give you a definite answer. Okay, so I'm starting with Jelly Bean Green, and I'm going to just work my way around here, adding that jelly bean. And I want this to be nice and vibrant, so I'm not worried about going too light here. All right.
Sue would like to know, how long did you have your first paper cutter?
How long did I have my first paper cutter? I think I got that paper cutter when we moved to our warehouse. So how long have we been here in the warehouse, Tom? 3 years?
Since we went
Since we moved to this warehouse.
Oh, 3 years, yeah.
3 years. So I had about 3 years. I figure that's a pretty good amount of time for a paper cutter, especially like a more portable paper cutter like that. So about 3 years. Because when I moved into this studio, I remember I took some things home and I got a few new things for here. Okay, so now I've got my jelly bean on there, and now I'm going to move to fresh asparagus. And I am going to use my detail blending brush. And I'm going to go all along. Let me just get my little pointer here. It's actually my pick and stick tool. I'm going to go like in this area here because I want to darken things up so that it looks like a little bit of shading, and then I'm gonna like kind of touch some of the edges of the leaves. So let's start right here. I'm gonna bring it in from the side a little bit and bring that in, and then just bring it up a little bit and down a little bit. You see how that made it quite a bit darker? Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing over here to this one. Jelly bean and fresh asparagus are such a great color combination. And I know a lot of you have been interested in the trios, the 3-color blends. In our Facebook group earlier, I shared a 3-color blend of turquoises, which was sea glass, turquoise sea, and tranquil teal. My favorite combination for these greens is jelly bean, grass green, and fresh asparagus. All right, and then I'm going to add a little touch of that dark along the edges of these leaves. See how they're getting nice and dark around the edges?
So a few people are curious about Facebook, that they're able to watch now on Facebook.
They're able to watch?
And it wasn't the case a week or so ago?
No, we've always been on Facebook. It's just you have to watch from our Facebook page, not our group. See, our Facebook group, you can't really, it's harder to stream in groups. So, but they do allow you to stream to your public Facebook page. So Gina K Designs has a business page. And that's not a group. That's not where people can chat. That's just where we promote things and we show our newest products and we do card projects and things like that. And so it is right now streaming on the Facebook page, but not in the group. So we're able to stream to Twitch and to YouTube, but not to the group. So I hope that makes sense.
It does.
All right. Okay, so now I've added all the little dark greens in there. Isn't that pretty? So easy with these little detail brushes. So glad you found us. I see lots of people still coming in. I feel like personally, I think YouTube is the way to go for live streaming. They just have it down. It always looks so crisp and vibrant over here. So Okay, so now I've got my first layer. Now remember, I have a seam for my card right here. But you see, I'm not worrying about that seam. I'm acting like it's not even there. So now I can go back and do layer 1. And layer 1, now we've just got to find the spot. Now it's pretty easy to find the spot because you can see here, you've got these that match these right here. So all we have to do is line that up. Now it takes a little finagling, but we'll find the spot. There we go. And you can kind of tell when it snaps in place because then the flowers will look right in the right spot with the stems and the leaves and nothing will be overlapping. So it's a pretty easy one to figure out. Yeah, definitely subscribing to YouTube. You never miss a video but you have to turn all notifications on too when you subscribe to YouTube. And Tom, can you show that little graphic? Because this is kind of what it looks like when you want to subscribe. So let's see, Tom's going to show the little subscribe graphic, okay? So what you do is you click, well, that's the like button, click subscribe, and then you see how there's a little bell there? That's what you want to click on, all. And then that will allow you to get notified when we go live. Facebook really doesn't have that. It kind of goes into your notifications, but unless you're looking at your notifications, you don't really see it. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the lilacs, and I kind of want to match my shirt, so I'm using like the medium lilac and the light lilac here. They're a very powdery blue wisteria kind of color. Powdery purple, I think I should say. Okay, yes, my shirt color. All right, now I've got this tacked down in place and I'm going to add some light lilac here. Okay. So we're going to start down here at the bottom and work our way up. Oh, that's such a gorgeous color. Now the light lilac looks a little more blue than the medium and the dark lilac. And that's okay. It works together because they're all in the same vein. And you'll see what I mean when I add that medium lilac. I know we have new people here too who have never seen us live before, maybe just stumbled upon us. So for my repeat offenders that have been here with me for years, you're the repeat offenders, you might hear me talk about things that I say in every video. And it's really because I want our new people to feel included. And I definitely want, to explain as I go because we were all new once, right? Okay, so that looks really good. Love that. Now I am going to move over to the medium lilac here. And I'm going to use a detail blender for this. And I'm going to work my color just up into the bottom of each of these flowers. All right, so I'm going to start here and work my way up, and you can see that color just populating in that area, looking so vibrant. But you see how I'm really staying mostly into this area here, and I'm just letting the bristles kind of float over the edge so that I don't get a blotchy look. And then I can work my way up a little higher if I want it. So pretty. Okay. Well, I'm glad the picture's crisp and vibrant. Thank you. That's good to know. I'm reading all the comments. I don't know where they're coming from. Well, I can see where they're coming from, but you might see me answer somebody and you're like, where is that comment? But they might be asking from Twitch or they might be asking from Facebook and you're watching on YouTube. So that's why we try to always repeat the question before we answer it so that you guys can see it too. Okay, and now look at how different they look, just that little bit of vibrance. I'm tempted to add that black pencil, but I'm not going to today. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, I did a couple of cards where I added a little bit of black colored pencil down near the bottom, and boy, does that make a difference too. We could go in and add dark lilac real close to the edge if you wanted that look as well. So if you have the trio, definitely give that a try and see how that looks. But I think this is good. This is pretty vibrant. Okay. Love that. Okay. I love you being a repeat offender. All right, let's pull this off and see how this is looking. That's really pretty. This is one of my favorite stencils. I say that about every stencil, though. They're like children to me, you know? This is my favorite. No, this one's my favorite. Okay, now this one, it's not hard to figure out. You kind of just want to pop these flowers here like onto these little stems that are just hanging out there in midair. So you'll be able to find it pretty easily. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as it's close, it'll be better than horrible. And that's what we're looking for. All right. I know the black pencil's so fun. It kind of gets you like really focused on using your Prismacolor pencils, doesn't it? You get in the mood. All right, now I think for this I'm going to use some reds. But I think I'm going to start with Red Hot. Let's start with Red Hot. And I've got a smaller blending brush here, but you could use a big blending brush. That's totally fine. We have the regular size, which are these bigger ones. And then we have our small ones, and then we have our detail ones that really get in the nooks and crannies. Okay. Trying to read your comments while I'm while I'm working here. Okay. So now we're going to just lightly see I'm like starting on the stencil where there's like not even an opening. I just want to get some of that color moving, and then I'm going to work my way up. It makes it less blotchy that way, I think. Okay. Same here. It's really like, you know, a little bit of patience really makes a difference when it comes to ink blending. Trying not to get it all done at one time, because you can always go back and add more. Like if I want this a little darker down here, I can always go back and add more. But I can't take it away if it gets like a big blotchy stroke in it. I love ink blending. It's such a relaxing activity. And it always looks good. Okay. And welcome to our first-time YouTubers. I know I ran into the Facebook group right before we went live and shared the YouTube link. So I always think it looks so good over here, and it's just, I don't know. I'm a YouTube fan. I've been on YouTube for a long time. Okay. Now, I'm going to get a different red here. I think I'm going to go with Red Velvet. Let me grab that. I wasn't prepared for that one. This is just a shade darker. Can you see this is kind of like real, like it's got just a hint of orange undertone, and this is just the true red. So we're going to go with the true red here, the Red Velvet, and then I'm going to use a detail brush. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add a little bit of this darker red underneath here. You can see how that's starting to deepen up a bit. Some of these colors look really similar. Like we were talking in our Facebook group earlier today about the sea glass and turquoise sea and how close they look. But you really see the difference in these colors when you start doing ink blending and layering color on top of each other. You can really start to see how one is deeper or more vibrant or has a little bit of a different undertone. Maybe, you know, one blue might have a little more blue and one has a little bit more green to it. So some of the colors are close, but then when you see them layered on a stamp, layered stamps or layered stencils, then you can kind of see why we went with those variations. Red velvet is a real good true red though. Okay, now I'm going to take that same red and I'm going to just fill in these little dots here. I could have done a different color with them, but I like this little splash of red in this project. Okay. I'll add this over here. I don't know if I'm getting any of this or I'm just basically coloring over the masking magic, but you know. Okay, so we've got all that red. Now let's pull this back. Let's see how that looks. Oh, isn't that nice, that little bit of red in there? It's so summery, you know, because summer gardens just have beautiful combinations of different color flowers, and that's what this feels like. This stencil is called Summer Bouquet. Now I'm going to put this aside for just a second and I'm going to clean my stencils. I do like to use alcohol, just regular rubbing alcohol, to clean my stencils, but you can also just use water. You can use your tidy towel. You don't have to use this. The reason why I like to use it is it does really remove any stains. So if the stencil is stained at all from the ink, it does a pretty good job of getting the stains away. And if you're using this right away again, alcohol just evaporates so quickly. But if you have a sensitivity to smells and things like that, then by all means, just go with soap and water. It's totally fine. It can be a little gaggy if you use a lot, that's for sure.
Gaggy.
Gaggy. All right. So we'll clean those and get those out of the way. They're nice and clean and ready for the next card. Yeah, it dries like super fast, and it also picks up any ink that's like on your tabletop. Although some people some people work on their good kitchen table, so I wouldn't suggest doing that. But if you work on a laminate tabletop like I do, I don't have a good fancy tabletop. All right, I'm gonna get some sea glass. Is this sea glass? Here is sea glass. So I'm going to get some sea glass and I am going to add color to this. Now, one thing I will say is if you are working with colors like this, we've got red, we've got purple, we've got green. Every one of those colors can be mixed with a blue to make a new pretty color, right? You can mix red and blue together and get purple, right? You can mix purple and blue together and get more of a periwinkle. You can mix the blue and green together and get more of an emerald or a sea glass kind of look, you know? So all of these colors work really well. I might not pick this color if I was doing a lot of orange on here, because orange and blue, they don't really play nice together. I might, instead of using sea glass, go with a warmer tone like a sandy beach for this part of the card. So depending on the colors that you use, try to pick things that, if you think about it, mixing with the sea glass, what color would it create? Okay, so I'm going to use the sea glass. I've got a blending brush here. I'm going to get a little sea glass on here. And what I'm doing is I'm going to go around the entire perimeter because I want to make sure that what's the point of having this border if everything is going to be white? We want to see the border. And in order to see the border, we've got to have ink up against that border. So I'm going to take my blending brush and I'm going to create a border of sea glass just around the perimeter. Now, I'm not going in the center. I'm going to leave that center nice and bright and white. But I want to have this border going around the outside. Okay, is this starting to make sense? If you've seen me do this before, then you know what's going to happen, and you know it's going to be really nice crisp edges around the outside, and it's going to make it feel like a layered panel. But this is just one of those things that sometimes we just forget that we can do this, and it's so fun. It makes such a great single layer type of card. It also is great for panels too, if you want it to look like there's more layers on there, but you don't want to really have the card too fat. too thick. Okay, so I think that's looking good. All right. So shall we do our peel and reveal? Okay, let's peel these off. All right. Nice. Ooh, what happened there? Let me see what I'm doing here. Did I go too? Oh, man, what happened? That never happens. I'll fix that with a little bit of Connect glue. I think I was pushing just a little too hard. Okay, there we go. No worries. No worries. It's all cool. It'll be fine. It's fine. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now I'll just add a tiny bit of glue on that. Now look at what happens here. So we've got this perfect front, right? And then when we open it up, the inside of our card has this neat little border going down the side. We've got that beautiful border, and we can stamp an inside greeting. Isn't that fun? I just love the way that looks. Okay, so let's see what we can do, if we can do a little surgery here. I've got some Connect glue, so let's see if we can just tap that down real lightly. So,
what is the name of that stencil?
This stencil is called Summer Bouquet. So I'm just going to put a couple little dots of Connect glue here. I'm running out of Connect glue. There we go. Okay, a couple little dots. Okay, and then I'm just going to rub my finger over it to make it smooth, and then I'm just going to lightly pat this down. There we go. Looks, if I do say so myself, I think that's good. I would be more than happy to send that out. It happens, but normally it doesn't tear the paper. I think I was just being too vigorous along the side. I guess I didn't have to go that vigorous, but that looks pretty good. Okay, so again, closed, looks like a single card, but when you open it, you've got that beautiful border. Okay, so now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to pick a greeting for this card. So I decided that I wanted to make this a birthday card, and I wanted to use the Birthday Wishes greeting from the Modern Roses set. So I'm going to do that. You could use any greeting. You could use a big die cut greeting on the front if you want. It really does lend itself to anything big and bold on here. But I like the elegance of this. It's just got a nice look about it. Plus, let me show you this. This is another reason why I chose this one. Because I'm using this greeting here, I feel like this font here works really nicely with this font. And I love this set. This is the on the inside birthday. Look at all the different options you have. You have so many options for the inside, but whatever you pick, it has to be able to fit inside this area here. And you can test it. You know, you can, like this one might be a little big, but like this one would be fine. This one would be fine. This one would be fine. But this one, the elegance of this one seemed to really work well with what I'm doing here. Okay, so let me put this aside again. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get the Misty. Okay. And I need a piece of white cardstock. So let me just trim one down here, because you would think I had a bunch of white scraps laying around, but I have not been good about organizing my scraps, and they really got away from me. Do you want to see my scraps? Let me show you my scraps. Hold on. This is bad, you guys. This is bad. These are my scraps. So, you know, digging through there sometimes doesn't make sense. I need to get myself a set of our color labels and some storage pockets and sit in front of the TV and organize all of my all of my scraps. I look tan tonight. You know, I think it's the lighting in here. We kind of switched a couple things up, and I think that the lighting might be a little bit better. Let us know if you think that it looks a little better than it usually does, because we tried a couple little things here. So
you got some sun this weekend too.
I did get some sun. I did. We went bike riding too, so I could be a little tan. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this twice, although that looks pretty good. Let me give it one more stamping, just to be safe. Okay. Does it look, it looks brighter. Okay, that's good. Like brighter where you can see more, or too washed out. I don't think it looks too washed out, though. Okay, now I did that. Now let's talk about the inside of this card. So, should I be brave and do it without the Misty, or should I do it with the Misty? Do you think? I did put it on an acrylic block thinking that I might be good enough to do it without the Misty, but now I'm starting to second guess myself. Tom, where are you tonight? People want to see you. Say hello. There he is. No pencil point to the eye tonight, so I guess you haven't made an appearance. Okay, so you want me to do it without the Misty? Ooh, somebody's challenging me. Okay, I'm going to do it without the Misty. I'm going to do it without the Misty. Oh boy. Now I'm nervous. But you know, sometimes you just got to do the old-fashioned way. So I'm going to move the Misty, and I'm going to get my card. It's open here. Oh boy, everybody's like, no, don't do it. Okay, so here's a good thing to know. Like, if you are trying out a stamp and you don't have a Misty, I know, I am old school. I mean, I've been doing this for, gosh, I've been stamping for 25 years. I should be able to use an acrylic block. But yes, I always practice it first on a piece of cardstock to make sure I have a good impression and to make sure I can see it straight. And I think I'm going to be able to do it. I just can't cross the line. All right, here we go. Everybody hold their breath. Okay, here we go. Here we go. There we go. I did it. Yes, I did it. Okay, and then when I close this, you're not going to see it, but when I open it up, it makes the card look decorated on the inside. Love that. Mindy, I have dropped my acrylic block so many times. I was never so excited as the day I bought a Misty. But you know, sometimes I have to make sure that my friends who maybe the Misty isn't in their budget yet, I have to show them that you can do this. It's possible to make a good card that isn't a Misty card. Okay, so this looks pretty good. The greeting looks good. I'm just so scared I have like ink on my fingers. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out using the die set that matches this. Now this board actually has 2 die sets on it. I've got like Spring Friends on here, and I've got a bunch of things. But this is the die that cuts this out. So let me get my die cutting machine. Here we go. Okay, what's in the Rubbermaid container? Is that what somebody said? The Rubbermaid container behind me? Or what I showed earlier was my scraps of paper. That was all my scraps of paper. Is there a Rubbermaid container behind me somewhere, Tom? I don't see that.
I don't see it.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to line this up with some Masking Magic. Tape that down. And then hope for the best. Here we go. Oh, tidy towels. Yeah, that's what it is. It's my tidy towel. So I have like 4 tidy towels. And the tidy towel is a lint-free cloth, and these are damp. And because I don't have a sink close by, I just wet all of these and then I put them in this while I'm live so that I always have a clean, tidy towel ready to go. And then you can let them dry overnight if you want, and then they won't kind of they get a little smelly if you kind of contain them. You can wash the smell out of them. I just throw them in the washer with some Tide. But, you know, if you don't want to do that, just let them dry out and then just wet them when you're ready to sit down again. They'll perk right back up again. Okay.
So Vicky wants to know, any chance of releasing a cardstock in the shades of the lilac inks?
Well, we're not going to do that because our lilacs actually look really beautiful with wild wisteria. So it's a great color that you can use with any of our lilacs. And even though wild wisteria is a different color than our lilacs, the cardstock matches beautifully. All right, so now we are going to put our greeting out here on the front of the card. I think I'm going to put it up here more where the greenery is so that I don't lose any of the flowers. But remember, we only can put adhesive up to the A there because we need this to be free to open. So I'm going to get some of my adhesive. And let me see where the A is. It's right there. So I'm just going to kind of go up to that point. And you can use glue for this too. And then I'm going to adhere that to my card right there. I think that greeting is so perfect for this card. You see? So now when the person opens the card, it's birthday wishes. And then the inside of the card is all decorated. And I love that little accent of blue around there and how it fades to nothing. Isn't that fun? Okay. So now let's add just a few little embellishments here. But before we do that, Tom, do you have a word of the day?
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Boy.
I'm going to zoom in a little bit too while you're doing the word of the day.
Okay, so I have kind of a dad joke style phrase of the day.
Oh, a dad joke style. Okay, I'm ready.
So you remember last week, I think it was like Thursday after the live, Gina's at Workspace. It's a little bit tight.
Yeah, it's
and
small.
I was walking behind you to try to, and you had a bunch of ink pads piled up.
Yes.
And I bumped them and they went everywhere.
Yes, you did.
You remember that?
I do remember that.
So with that in mind, that experience at the fore of your imagination, would you agree that I passed with flying colors?
Yes. It's great. Just disappears. Yes, Tom passed with flying colors because he passed by me and the colors went flying everywhere. That's awesome.
Back to the dead space.
Okay. All right, we're going to add some embellishments here. So I got to find my glasses again. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. So we're just going to add a few embellishments. We'll put one here. I like to kind of focus the embellishments a little bit around the greeting. So that would be 3. We can put one down here and maybe one up here. And I think that'll be nice and sparkly, but just enough, just a little touch. So I am using the disco ball. Again, these are my favorite. I use them all the time. And I like using both the micro disco ball and the regular disco ball. The micro ones are so tiny. but I think they work really nicely together. So we'll do a regular one here and a regular one there, and then we'll get those real tiny ones out toward the edges. There we go. All right. Tonight's live was a little bit of an experiment for us with some new lighting and stuff. So hoping that that it looks nice and crisp for you. Okay, so what do you think of that? Birthday wishes. Ta-da! That's kind of cool too, because now you've got some embellishments on the inside of the card too. Oh, I love it. That is very fun. Okay, well, all right, Tom. So, we're ending a little bit early tonight. Tom and I actually have to get home tonight, so we're ending just about 10 minutes early, but we do want to give away a card tonight, right?
Of course.
Not a card. We want to give away a gift card tonight.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, and I got to take some high quality pictures. So just so you guys know, if you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on Twitch, you can always visit our Facebook group or visit our YouTube channel. I have a community tab here on YouTube where I always share a high quality photo of the card. And then in our Facebook group, I always share high quality photos as well. So if you'd like to join our Facebook group, it's Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. You can find it easily on Facebook just by typing that in, and our group will come up. You do have to join, and we do have some security questions that we like to ask because our group is private and we want to make sure we keep the spammy spammers out. And then if you're looking for any of the products that I used tonight, you can find them on our website at GinaKDesigns.com. So visit our website and check out what we have there. Okay, Tom, let's do it. Let's give away a gift card tonight. We're going to give away a $15 gift card.
All right, beautiful. It's time for a winner. Let's get a drum roll, please.
All right.
And the winner is Cathy Hostuttler. Cathy Hostuttler.
Yay, Cathy. Congratulations. Cathy, all you have to do is send your name and email address to info@GinaKDesigns.com, and we will get that right out to you. Well, everybody, this was so much fun. I hope you like this card, and I hope you'll give this little fancy fold a try, decorating the outside and the inside of your card all in one fell swoop. There it is again, one fell swoop. Just love using that phrase ever since I saw Nick Bargatze do a whole comedy bit on it. All right, everybody, Tom and I will be back on Thursday with another Stamp and Chat Live. And if you like this video, go ahead and click like, and don't forget to subscribe. We would love you to do that. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you so much. Bye-bye.